Previously on Via Non Capta. Just kind of do a very brief recap. Basically, the captain got to understand that the person who is suspected to have planted the armament on Starbase 2 was a Bolian in a Drake uniform. Now, the only person on the Drake that is a Bolian is the chef, and basically through some interrogation or at least discussion, it was determined that he most likely didn't have a hand in it, and he was released, and the mystery remained. And then we cut back to the away team on the Tranquil, and things got a little hairy, but not too bad. Everything kind of was able to, what do you want to say, like, not escalate too much. And Jahan was able to get to the bridge by means of the chef and transmit incriminating information about the Tranquil to the Drake. And then Arhat and Lozesh staged a fake scene to bring the Tranquil down on a nearby planet that housed a Federation colony, which is like, the way to look at it, it's like one of the accepted ports for this place to dock in a case of emergency, or it could just be it could be a place in like the season, quote unquote, where they could go and land to allow visitors to go in, like vacation, like a normal cruise ship. So that's basically where we were. I think everybody else remembers pretty much what was going on.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
So, so the Tranquil lands on the planet, and the two Orion security guards calmly escort Lozesh and Arhat off. And as Lozesh and Arhat are going like through the doorway of the entrance to the Tranquil, let's have both of you roll. It's going to be a command something roll. I just got to pull it up here. So you're both going to roll 2d20 for your security insight. Both of you guys are going to roll that.
Yeah. Oh, and while we're starting, we have 5 momentum, and everybody still has their point of determination.
Good thing you said that. This is a new scene, so you lost one.
Okay, so we're down to 4.
And it's just difficulty 1, we'll just say. Yeah.
Difficulty 1?
Yep.
So I just got to roll 2 dice and...
Yep. Whatever your security plus insight is, that'll be your target number.
My insight is 8. And I
Okay.
rolled an 8 and a 9.
Perfect. Okay. So
My,
that's
my security is a 5.
oh yeah. So that was a 13, and so yeah, you got 2 successes. Okay. And then you, Eric, you're the next.
So you have one. Are you going to use it, Michael? Or are you going to bake it?
I rolled a 1 and a 13.
Okay. What was your total? Did you get 2
13.
successes? Okay, so 2 successes. Okay.
No, he got a 1, so that's 3 successes.
Oh, 3 successes. You're right. You're right. Yep. So two, so 3 altogether.
3 altogether, but we can only have 2, so we have to use 1 at least.
Yeah.
Hey,
The question is what do we use it on?
okay, I'll let you use it to get the upper hand. And instead of rolling for it, I'll let you guys just play it out. How about that?
Okay, what's this for now? May I ask?
So as you're walking out of the doorway, you both have like a little like kind of like spidey sense happens where you think something is near you that's going to like attack you or jump you, or you're surprised by something. Somebody is hiding.
Okay, so
Can I use constantly watching?
You can. Yep.
I have my talent of constantly watching.
And that I remember
Minus is
gives
1 on difficulty.
Yeah, okay. So he would have gotten. So you get an additional success.
my focus is that I decide with my knife.
Okay.
Well, that's your value, right?
That's my value. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like a focus in like keen senses or mm, like awareness? Like a
Yeah.
Okay. So what would that would give him what, Andrew? 4 successes?
Right? Didn't you say 1's
I
gets
think
doubled?
so. So he would get 3 and then he gets the other one because it was within his thing.
I mean,
So you guys
we can't bank anymore.
Yeah.
You're just
So
adding.
you guys blew it out of the water, which I suspected, which is good. So
Yep.
what happens is you both get this like kind of like gut sensation, and what you see out of the corner of your eye. So we'll put Mike on the left and you, Eric, on the right, and so Lozesh sees a Drake officer right up here against the wall of the Tranquil. And what our hat seats on his left is Commander Sondon from the Drake, your second in command. So what we're going to do with that big roll is, instead of just calmly walking down the the gangway like down, you guys immediately turn back and all 4 of you arrest the Orion guys who are leading you down the gateway.
Okay.
So Nizark and Mator, that's who the 2 Orion guys are. They're
Who's the
immediately
bigger?
detained. Who's bigger?
Who's the bigger?
I think it was Mator when I wrote it down. Let me look. Yeah, Mator is bigger.
Okay.
What is your talent there, Mike?
Quick to action.
Okay, let me look at that. I should have it in my thing. Okay, during the first round of any kind. Okay, so yeah, if we were going into combat with these guys, this would go great. I'm not going to have you guys roll for combat because with those rolls, they're not. You basically caught them. They're not ready for it.
Okay.
They're completely jumped by it. There's no like. All of a sudden, you're going to struggle to like fight these guys. It's like they are completely surprised. They have no idea. They're completely off guard. By the time they even like reach back for their phase pistol, it's already out of their pocket because the security guards are taking them out and you guys are, detaining them.
Yep.
So,
I just figured worst case scenario, I can get a preemptive strike in it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And normally I might have played it out, but you guys just rolled. So you had so much excess momentum that it helped. So Lozesh is going to take these two guys to like, there's a little kind of like Federation owned like site where essentially they kind of have a presence here. It's basically like on planet security, more or less. So he's going to escort those two guys over, and then Sandin gives you a laser weapon, which is what we have. He gives you a weapon, and you three, the three at the door, and an additional 6 enter the Tranquil and go room to room, detaining all of the department heads and evacuating the civilians. That's what you guys are doing. So as you get to the dining hall, Jahan quietly exits, and he joins Lozesh at the station with basically all of the department head, all of the people that aren't civilians who are just on there enjoying their time. Lozesh and Jahan are basically security at this location as the department guys come off. So all of them, so as you detain them, the last place to go is the bridge. And you know that the last person you haven't gotten is the captain. So this is the thing that's you kind of expect to you expect basically a gunfight. You expect to get into something. But when you get up onto the bridge, there's nothing. And when you guys tactically move across the bridge to the ready room, where the only pretty much other than the turbo lift is the only other door up here is like a secondary door, which you can tell is like his office. And when you get there, how would you play it out? I'm going to give it to you. How would you play? You're at the door now, Mike, with your guys.
I'm at the door. We're ready to go in if need be.
Okay.
I would check and see if there's someone who's able to do a quick scan because we have control of the bridge.
Yes.
But I would want to make sure he's in there, whether or not he is in there.
Okay.
And that way we could also pinpoint where he was in the room.
Okay.
Because when you go into a room, you want to know where he is. So you can immediately turn toward him.
Yeah.
So there is no surprises.
Okay, so using your momentum, I won't have one of your guys roll. He scans, and he can generally see things in the room, but there are no life signs.
Can he tell what the things are in the room?
He can give like general descriptions of like what would seem like furniture and things on the wall and things that don't seem like furniture.
Because one thing I know is if the room is not secure, it's best to be cautious going in.
So I'll give you this little bit of information because you know this. You've already cleared. This is the last room you haven't cleared.
Right.
So
the question is there anything in there that could harm us when we go in? And that's what's going through my head.
Okay, so that scan, he would have shown that there is a phase pistol, but it's on the ground. He can see that. There's like an energy signature. He can read that there's an energy signature on the ground.
Okay. At that point, I would consider going in and clearing the room. Because one thing that comes to mind is like booby traps.
Absolutely.
He's in there with a weapon.
Right.
Because, if there's a chance we could get hurt, we already have him trapped.
Right. He's a bad guy in a corner, right? Like you want to be as careful as you can be.
Right.
Right. So you breach the door. It's not really that hard to punch in some bypassing codes that your crew, your security guys already looked into like bypass codes. Like they already did all this stuff because it took like a half an hour for the Drake to get here. So they've tapped into the Tranquil's like computer network by having that open data stream. So when you breach the door and you go in, you don't immediately see anybody, but behind the desk is the captain, and he is dead. He's not alive. And just initial like survey of like looking at him, you can tell that he has a self-inflicted wound.
I had a feeling that's what happened.
Yeah. So the team out, so you guys, what would I say, the 9 of you leave the Tranquil, and then security teams from like the post that where Lozesh and Jahan were at, they go in and they remove the body. So that is generally wrapping up like not episode 2, but it's like wrapping up that little chunk of what happened. Because now what's going to happen is you guys are going to get on the shuttles and you're going to go to the Drake, and the Drake's going to go back to Starbase 2. And you guys are going to house the 6 department heads that you detained. So that is where we're at. It's at night, so it's like later in the day because you guys were at the dance floor, and it was like later. So when you get back to the Drake and then back to Starbase 2, it's like quite late at night. So you don't expect to have you would have like a hello captain type of thing, but you don't expect to really have like a full debriefing until the morning. So the next morning comes, and the captain, Arhat, and Dr. House have been called to the Admiral's office at 0800, and the 3 of you pretty much suspect that that it's most likely she's read the report of Jahan and you, Arhat. She's read what took place, your reports of what happened on the Tranquil, and you all have a gut feeling that she's probably going to discuss what happened with Lozesh and the first mate. Now, because you know that, and you guys are, you guys are working together as a team, you guys can have separate scenes if you want, or we can just throw you into the Admiral's office. So what I mean by that is, like Lozesh and Caleb can have a scene as like the doctor and Lozesh to talk it out, so that the doctor has some understanding. He has something to has something to use towards the Admiral. And same with you, Mike. You and the captain can have a scene so that when you get in there and she questions anything or talks to either one of you, like you guys have more of a gear thing going, and you're not really you're not caught off guard, right? Like you guys are prepared for it. And then you, Andrew, you're reported to be there at 0900. So an hour later.
Okay. So am I just hanging out in my room?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever just talked about when shifts start. So yeah, you're probably either getting ready to go on your shift at 0900, or you're leaving your shift because it started at 0800. I don't really know. I don't know what
Alpha
shift was.
Are we still dressed in his garb, or are we now?
When you got onto the Drake, you were, but now you would be in your normal, because now it's the next day. It's the next morning.
Okay. Should we hand Andrew his clothes?
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah, you could have
when we see him.
Yeah. Okay. So before this morning part happens, you guys can have like a little, the 3 of you, like, or whoever wants to have a little scene with him. Yeah, it's fine.
And just say thank you.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
What do you think, Mike?
I have no problem doing a scene with 3 of us.
Okay.
If you want me to give him the robe back, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, I'll give him the rope back. I'll be with you when we do it. Okay.
Either or.
So you've come back. So you've taken the shuttle from the the planet. You're back on the Drake. You're freshly back on the Drake, and you go to Sova's quarters where he would be because it's nighttime, and he would be pretty much either getting ready for bed and or sleeping. So that's where you guys find yourself, is outside his quarters. And I'll say that the little like and the little thing happened, and now you guys can have the scene.
Okay.
So the door is open as I'm standing there.
Lieutenant Sova, we came here to return the robe that we acquired from you.
And your shirt.
And your shirt. If you do not like them in the condition that they are returned, just put it in acquisition form and we will replace them. But I would like to thank you for the use of the clothing that we took.
I look at you and in a deep voice go, thank you.
In the future, I would appreciate if you asked before acquiring things from me. I hope you took good care of them.
Oh, yes.
I show you yours and kind of tattered a little bit.
So you can tell Andrew that when he hands you back like just a slightly like it's where it would you would think like on the sleeves, like where it would rub on his scales, it's a little more like loose and the thread has come out, and like around the neck and stuff, basically where his scales touch, it's a little more frayed. But the big thing that you're noticing is it's not white.
That's right.
When it was in your closet, it was white. It is no longer white. It is just as bright and extravagant red as you basically could imagine it to be.
Just like the shirts that they have on.
Exactly.
I see that you have changed its color.
Jahan had mentioned that color would be good on the trip. Like I said, if it is not to your liking, just put in an acquisition form and I will push it through to get you a replacement immediately.
I guess I will have to do that, because normally Vulcans do not wear such bright colors. Is there anything else?
I look at you and I said, you should. You'd stand out.
That is all from me, Lieutenant.
I'm done.
Good. Then you have a good night. I just shut.
So
I don't even just push it.
So as the door is closing, Jahan stands there with the Vulcan thing as you close the door on his pose, essentially.
I let out a chuckle because I really think this is funny.
Perfect. Okay, so now it's the morning, and now you guys can meet together if you wish. Otherwise, we can just jump into Admiral Foxwell.
If the captain wants to talk to me, I will have a conversation with the captain before the admiral.
It's up to you. I'm fine to just go to the admiral and see what happens, but if it's up to you, I guess. I don't know.
I want to talk to the doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
no problem either way, because I have nothing to hide. It's just state what happened and go from there.
Sounds good.
So wait, I heard Eric and Caleb say something now.
Yeah, we both want to talk to each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just assumed that Lozesh would want to talk about his memory coming back and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll put you, Dr. House, you're obviously in the sick bay of the Drake, and early, probably like 0700 or so, Lozesh comes walking in.
Okay.
Oh, Lozesh, I see you're back from your mission.
Yeah. I had some disturbing things happen while I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So for your benefit there, Caleb, I just want to say that you will have read our hats and Jahan's
reports.
reports.
Right.
Okay. So just for your benefit. So sorry, keep going.
Okay, thank you. I forgot there was a report made.
Yeah.
I probably didn't read it though, as Dr. House.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just
Busy
saying
doing
you would
other
have had access to it. Yeah.
I don't have time for reports.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
He never gets left behind. Got it. Anyway, I just want to let you know that while I was on the cruise, I almost lost my promise to the captain, and that I think I remember my past. Not as much as I want to, but enough.
What
I don't.
What was this? What was the stimulus that
I saw a
induced
man.
your memory?
I saw a man that does not belong here. He's not from this time, which means that I don't think I am part of your time either.
Well, that would make sense.
And that I think some of my reason for not being able to remember is that our time periods are separated somewhat. I don't remember.
Was your description in the report? I kind of thumbed through it. I didn't read all of it.
So Lozesh, you're basically going to get word of mouth. He would have like journals. He would have like personal logs, but he's not going to have anything that would like circulate on the Drake because he's not like a Starfleet officer.
Yeah.
But he would have personal logs. So anything that when he went to his room that night and like talked, he would.
I guess I kind of mean like, did Mike put anything in?
Yeah,
because he was there. He was with Lozesh.
So all you have from Mike's perspective is that Lozesh didn't like this guy, and that this guy was suspicious. Him and Lozesh interacted. Mike didn't really catch everything that he said, and then the guy vanished in front of Mike or our hat. So
Tharhat wouldn't have put a like description of the individual.
He would have, yes. Oh, absolutely. He would have said it was a Xindi-Primate. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's have you roll a medicine insight roll on Lozesh. Okay. It's going to be but here's the tricky thing. It's going to be difficulty 4.
Okay. The ship has momentum, right? Or we didn't bank any of that, did we?
I think Andy says they have 6.
We have 6, and you have your determination. So if you have a value,
sure.
Yeah. Let me look.
Also, don't have your list of talents for house, so you might have to help me with it.
Right. Okay. What medicine and insight? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then, of course, whatever thing you studied.
15. Okay. Too.
So anything like neurological stuff, xenobiology, anything like that.
Do you have any values that would be?
I have a focus in like history, which with the Xindi invasion and everything, I would have kind of backstory. This wouldn't be emergency medicine, and
no,
it might be diagnostic medicine though.
Yeah.
Other than that, Other than that, I don't have.
And then, like Andrew said, do you have any values, any quotes that like encompass what you're doing?
I have a value of I want to believe. So like I want to believe genuinely what Lozesh is saying.
Okay.
But I have a hard time doing so.
I can ride that. So what's that give him, Andrew? 1d6 or d20?
1d20, but he can choose what that d20 rolls.
Okay.
Oh.
So because you have a focus, I would obviously just make it a 1. That'll give you immediately 2 successes, right? Because of a focus. I think, right,
Is that
Andrew?
how that works?
I'm trying to remember. Isn't we agreed upon? A 1 is 2, but because of a focus, it's 3.
Is that what it is?
I think so. That's what I'm at least going to rule. That'll be my rule.
Yeah. I mean, I like it.
So with that,
you have your 2 original dice to roll 1 success.
You just got to get 1 success.
Okay, gotcha. So I need a.
And if you purchase more dice with momentum, then you'll be even more safer.
Okay, I need a 15, so I'm just gonna go for
it. Okay, yeah.
So I got a 10 and a 3.
Perfect. So right there.
My insight is a 10. So does that do anything? I remember if you roll specifically what you have.
It's your medical.
It would be medical. Okay. All right. So I will bank one of those successes and use the 4 that I needed.
You can't. You already have 6.
Oh. So you have 1, right? Because he got 5 successes. He needed 4, so he has a 1 extra one. So you can't. So I'll just make. You can.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
I'll just
5,
make
right?
this flowery. I'll just give you more information.
Okay.
So hearing what he says, you now look at his diagnosis, like the things that he's presented with: memory loss, amnesia, like trauma to his neurological systems. You're like, wait a minute, what if I honestly look at this from now that he said time travel, like a time traveler, different parallel or a future thing. Let me look at this with the scope of including my scan of chronoton particles. So you scan him. Obviously, that was a really, really great scan. And just as you were thinking, maybe this will show something, it does. It immediately shows. So his scan is clear from where his eye patch is to kind of like the scoring part. And it doesn't show up on, only his eye is obviously damaged. But like you can see on the scan that there's like a kind of like a ray blast through on the side of his head. And you can see that probably, obviously, you as Dr. House have never handled them or seen them in use, but it's very, very, very likely that Lozesh was shot with like a chronoton weapon, which essentially like is shooting him with like time weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So he was hit, and why he's missing. You can put together that why he's missing memories is literally that parts of his brain are not in sync, like in time.
Gotcha.
So some parts of his brain, obviously, like breathing, eating, walking, talking, function, but the part of memory and the part of like why he's here and all that stuff, it's in a like regress state of like what he would have when he was like a teenager, basically.
So there's literally like a part of his brain like in a different timeline.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's like fascinating.
Now, is there anything that he can give me to try to enhance what I'm remembering?
Possibly.
What did you say?
Next bike. One of those.
Next bike. I thought you said next week, and I'm like, yeah, that would figure.
What we'll do is it'll be something that he will do over the course of time. We'll make this like a thing that as the mission plays out, like he can work on this thing. We won't do it like all in one thing. You'll kind of like a thing where like Jordy, it's like an episode, like Jordy walks in, oh, my visor hurts, Beverly scans him and is like, oh, something's wrong with your visor. But it's not until like later in the episode that all of a sudden it's like revealed that it's because he's seeing parallel dimensions. Right. So
maybe initially I get something and then
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like it wears off.
Yeah. So that's what we'll have you do is we'll have him immediately kind of do like a hypo spray that he thinks will lower those particles in your crane, like in like space in between your brain and your skull.
Okay.
It's safe to assume that when he first came to the starbase, I did a full
Yes.
brain scan, right?
Yeah. And it was one of those things like, why would you scan for that? Because that's not like human. That's not a part of like biofunctions, is having chronoton particles like a part of them.
No, he was having memory loss. So obviously, I would
exactly
scan short term, long term.
So what we'll do is when he gives you that hypo spray, it works. It works pretty well. You kind of like immediately remember a lot of things that you remember that Xindi-Primate is an agent that you were sent to go after, and you were the agent you were sent by the Klingon Defense Force to apprehend this person, but he didn't look when you were sent. He didn't look like a Xindi-Primate. Like he wasn't the thing, but you know that that's him. You know that that's the rogue agent you're looking for.
Right.
Why you know that, you don't 100% know. But the bad thing is it's kind of one of those, when the hypospray works, your gaps are filled, but it's short-lived.
Okay. So I touch my eye patch because that was one of the last things that had happened.
Yeah.
And I look at Caleb and I say, our Dr. House, and I say, I don't belong here. I belong in another time. And that I'm actually not who I'm supposed to be. They altered me. I'm bigger. I'm stronger. I'm the $6 million man. But
$6 million Gorn, yeah.
Yeah, I was only a youngling when they took me, but I'm full grown now. And they altered my physique accordingly.
Interesting.
And
so the Xindi that you ran into, then you think he was altered as well?
No, he's somebody that. Go ahead.
So what what Lozesh would put together is that he possibly has the ability to change his appearance.
Yeah, I think he's a changeling, but I don't know. And then,
well, that makes me feel a little better than being a Xindi time agent. I'm not really a fan of the Xindi.
And then I try to explain more, and then right in the middle of me thinking of what else to tell you, I stop because I don't remember.
So
there goes the short-lived shot. Give me another one.
Yeah.
So you, Dr. House, know that like doing like you could do it, but after a while, it's just a temporary thing. He'd have a few minutes of, but it's not gonna be anything. And
we'll have to do periodic sessions. It would
there's a chance
destroy
that
the rest of the brain you have.
Consistently doing it may actually hurt him. Like constantly doing this to him. So, but the thing that for him, for your benefit, for what he said, if he said changeling to you, you have no idea what that is. And if he brought and when he talked about like being genetically changed or like enhanced, you know from obvious things that like the Suliban, right? The Suliban do that type of stuff. From obvious like earlier. So
interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, we will we'll continue to monitor that, and I'll give you sprays like twice a week or so, just to see if you can remember anything more that would help. Okay. Is there anything else that I could do? Do you need anything else while you're here?
I got angry.
Well, that's to be expected. I don't have any sprays for that.
I wanted to kill him.
But you didn't eat them.
No, but I almost ate the first mate.
Well, I'm sure the captain will have more to answer for that than you. She approved your mission.
Okay.
But all right, well, that's it's cool to get more pieces to the puzzle, and hopefully next time we are in med bay, I can give you some more, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the captain now. I just wanted to give you a heads up, so just in case she says something, you know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So do you two want to have a scene with Adri or the captain before she leaves for Foxwell?
Or do you want to go to? Can we all go to the?
Well, Lozesh has not been called to the admiral's office.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But you can have a scene with Adri to like we said, like to kind of prep her. But if you feel like because the doctor's going to be there, so he can pull his weight for you. So
okay, so yeah, I'll just let it go.
Okay. So if Mike and Adri are good, I'm going to move to the Foxwell thing. Okay. So about, let's say a half an hour later after that little thing that took maybe a half an hour of them talking and scanning and looking at things, you go to Admiral Foxwell's office. She lets you all in, and she has several different pads in front of her. And she has the captain's report. She has your Commander Arhat's report. She has Dr. House's report on things that he obviously, when talking with Lozesh and some other things, she has that, and then Sandin, she has like all of these things out on her table.
My girl is prepared.
Yeah, you can tell that like she's been reading, and she's read multiple people's angles, and she's not just like flippant about anything. So she goes, please have a seat. She goes, I'm not going to take much of your time. I've read all the reports. I know there's not much. I know you're all very thorough, and there's not really anything that's going to be in these things that is going to be surprising. I just have two questions, and the one question is, I'll start with the doctor, and just say that based off of what your reports and what you've reported here, I'm just wondering if you feel, since we don't know what your patient is, do you feel that it is his tendency for violence is a cultural thing, or due to his neurological damage?
As at the moment, I believe it is a part of his cultural history.
Okay.
It could be heightened by his left cortex being damaged. But I think genuinely his like craving for meat comes from the other side. So I believe that's part of his cultural DNA.
Okay. That makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you, Doctor. And Commander, the only thing I have, I've read it. You're very thorough. You've left no detail out. I just was wondering why. Can you explain why you didn't stop Lozesh from assaulting the first mate of the Tranquil?
He was walking next to me. I didn't expect him to grab the first mate. I was looking for a good moment in order to basically confront him myself, but in a different way. He just caused the conversation to start before I was able to come up with a better alternative.
I understand that. I understand. So my recommendation, you, Captain, do what you want on your own vessel. You command your own people. You command the Drake. I do not. I won't take that away from you by any means. I don't have the right to take it away from you. I just make a recommendation based off of what I've seen and read in reports. I personally just recommend that you I wouldn't suggest putting Dr. House's patient on away missions. But the one thing that I do have control of is Starbase 2. And I ask you, Commander Arhat, that if Lozesh is here on Starbase 2, he's free to come and go and do what he wants here on the ship within reason. But I ask that you either have 2 of the Drake security guards escort him, or you, Dr. House, to accompany him.
Absolutely. And
Captain,
I
highly
highly suggest we look at our scanners and process, because if I can bring a weapon onto a ship, that means anyone can.
Very true. That's a great point to bring up. I will we'll look into what the 2 Orion men were using, and we'll see if they were using faulty or outdated hand scanners, or if they were up to date. Thank you for bringing that to my that thought to my attention.
Of course.
I saw that you were going to say something, Captain, perhaps?
No.
Okay.
Admiral, if I will.
Yes.
If I may.
Mm-hmm.
I know in this situation, this may be not really what we're here for, but seems I have a track record with patients, and I was wondering what the status of Captain Naboa was, if any.
Captain Naboa is currently still in interrogation. We haven't gotten much out of him, but we've asked Lieutenant Sova to be here to go through some equipment that we're able to get off of this ship.
Okay.
So we're hoping that if there is anything there, we can find it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that is my recommendation. I approved it. I didn't think, I'm just as culpable as everyone else, but it is something that we have to remember, that Dr. House's patient is not a Starfleet officer.
Loud and clear, Admiral.
Was the time stuff in my report?
No,
that was in the report that I.
No,
this is
no,
a report I made previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, it's up to you whether or not you would even like. It's something you're kind of like still unearthing,
right?
Like at best, you would sort of reveal that you found chronoton particles in his skull and on his scales.
Well, that's between me and the captain, not the admiral, anyway.
Right. All that, and also it's sort of patient doctor confidentiality.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. And
So,
it doesn't. I don't deem it to affect the safety of Starbase.
Exactly. So
I don't like the admiral as it is.
that's okay.
No, I'm fine.
Well, somebody's got to be the jerk. Okay. So if there's nothing further, if there's nothing further, then all 3 of you are dismissed.
I'm actually along those same lines as House. I think she's the culprit.
I didn't say that. I just said I don't like her.
Okay. No? Good. Everybody seems good to be dismissed?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I already left. I already walked out.
So she says, Captain, before you leave, can you just have I know Lieutenant Sova's out there already, even though he's 45 minutes early. Can you just have him come in?
Yeah, you got it. You got
it. Brown noser.
That's good. He's wearing his red robe.
Yeah. Bright red robe.
Yeah, I will do that. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. It
And
looks
she
good
says,
on
"Thank,"
me.
and she goes, "Captain, thank you."
You're welcome, Admiral.
Okay, so you three leave, and Sova, you come in. She says, "Lieutenant," she says, I know that you weren't given much information when we requested you, but when I was reading your personnel file, I saw that you are pretty much the best person I could find in the immediate area that who could perhaps decode." And she reaches into this like 21st century like filing cabinet like next to her desk, and she pulls it out, and it's a pad. It's like she pulls out a pad, and you've never seen it. It's not like a Starfleet issue pad, and says, "I want to see if you can decode this. This is from Captain Naboa."
All right. Is there any information you can give to me on this?
It was taken from his son. From their ship, we were able to get that far and that much clearance from Starfleet Command that we had. Because of Dr. House's report, we knew that this may have something to do with what happened on Starbase 2. So we had enough sway, like they had a warrant essentially to take it. Yeah, exactly. So we just know that we feel that this is tied to the armament, and we may feel that somehow he's connected to this. Basically, if we don't get anything off of this pad, we can't keep him.
All right. I shall begin immediately then.
Okay. So you immediately take it to probably you could either go to Coben's security station if you wanted, or you could take it all the way back to the Drake and go to like your a science lab or station on the Drake. It doesn't wherever you're comfortable.
I would probably go to the science lab on the Drake.
Okay. So when you go there, we're going to have you roll difficulty 4, science and insight.
I
just picture like an 80s montage of him doing all this stuff like in the science room.
Like pouring things in.
Yeah. Putting the glasses on.
Yeah, lighting the Bunsen burner.
Can I use? I'm trying to see if any of my values count.
Okay.
I have even the most complex tasks can be broken down.
Say that last thing again, Andrew.
Even the most complex tasks can be broken down.
That's a value.
Yeah. Does it?
Okay.
Can I use that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I shall use. I'll get a 1, and I'll buy a dice and get a 1.
Okay. Do you have a focus in like decoding or like pads or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
So that gives me 2. So now I'm down to 2.
2 successes. Yep.
And I'm going to buy one. I'll buy 1 more dice. So I roll 3 dice.
3 dice. Okay.
To get 2 successes.
Okay.
So, I succeeded because I rolled a 1 and a 3. So
okay, it was science and insight. That's what you were rolling.
Yeah, science and insight. I have a 15. So I got a 1 and a 3.
So
I got
5 successes. Yeah. Okay.
So I can put that 1 back.
Okay. No, you do what you want with it. I can't.
I was just thinking, can I use it to get more information off the pad?
You can. Yep.
All right, so I'm going to use the one instead of banking, I'm going to use it to get more out of the pad.
Okay, so the initial roll reveals what was written on the pad. And on the pad, what was written was "make your exit," is what it said. That's all it said. Now, with the extra momentum spend for obtain information, you can tell that it came from, it wasn't sent from outside of the station. It was sent from somebody, from somewhere or someone in near vicinity, like in the vicinity of him. And not like the kid punched it in, like standing next to him and then handed it to him. Like he received it from somewhere.
Let's see, because I have a talent
Mm-hmm.
which says if I use a momentum to get information from a question, which is basically what I did, right?
Yeah.
So I can get a bonus question. One
Okay.
bonus question.
Okay.
So can I figure out what type of was it sent from like a ship or a station or is there any way I can figure that out? What like
You can tell that it is from another pad, from another Starfleet pad.
Starfleet? Okay, so Starfleet pad sent to this non-Starfleet pad.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You gotta track its IP
And
address.
I'll go a little extra farther because you were asking more specifically. You can tell it's from the Drake.
Okay.
It's a Drake pad.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I basically figured out all I can, right? So I'm going to
Yeah.
contact the admiral. Or no,
Okay. Okay.
I'm just thinking, since it's a Drake pad, should I contact the captain first?
That's up to you.
Can I contact them both at the same time?
Yep.
Just in case the spy is receiving on the trick.
Okay, yeah.
I'm thinking to save time, I'll contact.
Oh, okay.
I'll do a conference call.
That came from Knightley's office.
Aren't you with Admiral Foxwell?
No, I'm in.
No, he went back to the ship.
Oh, sorry.
I think when you were coughing, he
Very
said
good.
he went back to the ship.
Yeah, I caught the
Keep
one
up,
up.
Adri. Keep up.
I can't.
I did not feel comfortable in the admiral's office, so I went back to the science.
What a prima donna.
You would have felt a whole lot better with a red robe.
Hey, right,
That's
exactly.
Wow.
You would have had more confidence, my
Confidence. That's exactly what I was going to say. Confidence.
hilarious.
That's what happened.
I love it.
So
okay,
it says make your exit. Okay, so I'm gonna ping them both, requesting a private conference call.
Mm-hmm. So like secure channel, is what you're saying?
Yes, secure
Yeah.
channel.
I want to hit my button, but I don't have one.
No.
Plus, also you wouldn't do that for a secure call.
I really just want to have a thing I hit.
Well,
Scaredy
So,
cat.
all right, so I go to my office.
Yep.
And I sit down. I'm here. I have picked up the phone.
Okay.
Lieutenant.
Hello, Admiral. I was able to decode the pad, but because of the security risk behind it, I figured it would be best to inform both of you at the same time.
Okay.
The message is a very simple message of make your exit. That's all it says. But I was able to decode that the message was sent from a data pad that is located on the Drake.
Yeah. So it's a data pad that is issued by the Drake. Just
issued by the Drake. Thank you.
Yeah. So all it said there, Lieutenant, was make your exit.
Correct. There's no further message.
That's problematic because unless we have that Drake pad, it doesn't prove that he had anything to do with it, just that he was aware of it.
I feel like knowledge is just as damnable.
I agree with you, Captain. I believe that this man had everything to do with it, but I don't speak for what Starfleet Command will say. He's a species, not a part of the Federation, and Starfleet Command has to connect with the Tellurian Republic, and they have to work something out.
Well, I'd like it figured out fast since it apparently has something to do with my ship.
Yeah, me too. Parts of my starbase are missing, so I as well.
Indeed.
It's like,
Thank you,
now
Lieutenant.
you can't leave.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I appreciate your efforts. It seemed like it didn't take much of any time at all. I knew I had the right officer.
Good work, Mr. Sova.
I just hang up.
Yeah, just
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
just I'm done.
Do you want this? Do you want this pad back or?
Can I keep this? This is nice.
Wow.
Just go put it in John's room anyway, because that's where it's gonna go.
See what happens when you wait 20 minutes before you get to see the Admiral?
Yeah.
Is John going to become the hoarder of the ship?
Probably.
He's the thief. He's the thief of the ship right there.
He's going to be the guy who ends up having all the things. When anybody loses something in the campaign of this, it's going to be like, oh, he had it. He kept it the whole time.
He's basically the pack mule.
He's keeping it in the bathroom for something to do.
He's got
Yeah.
like video game RPG pants. He just keeps shoving things in there, and he just collects
Got
everything.
like Galaga.
Minecraft shorts.
Galaga on it.
Yeah, Minecraft shirt. Okay, so here is the sobering thing that's nobody's going to like, but the reality of it. 45 days pass.
Bum, bum, bum.
And the Tellurian Republic and Starfleet Command do not meet a legal thing to detain him any longer. They held him for 45 days. They are not able to hold him any longer.
Annoyed.
They release him, and he departs Starbase 2.
Ooh, that makes the captain so mad.
You're telling me in those 45 days we didn't arrest the chef?
All of those people are arrested. They've been on Starbase 2 brig.
I mean our chef.
Keep your filthy paws off my chef.
Chef Fanar on the Drake. Oh, gotcha.
He's guilty. He's so guilty.
I will
Ask
lose
him.
it.
You should ask him if he makes the sandwich that Jahan had.
I told him to already.
Yeah,
Before you came on. I had a special little request for him. Yeah.
And does he? Oh, he does.
now.
Huh?
He does now.
Oh.
Does he make Porsche? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
He makes cheeseburgers.
No,
yeah,
I
he's
mean
very
Porsche.
Oh.
Yeah.
Different kind of meat entirely.
Well, no.
No, he makes cheeseburgers for him. He doesn't make Porsche.
He makes them what he likes.
Yeah.
Because he's our man. The chef, I mean.
What is course mystery meat?
Whatever
It's
it is,
Porsche.
it made Jahan sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can eat anything.
It's true. So what you find out over these things is that the chief engineer, Clufo Fra of the Tranquil, I know, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
She designed the armament.
Of course she did.
The chef, Thoran Chazikris, he obtained the parts for the armament.
Okay.
The Razzle, the entertainer, the dancer, she's the person who goes from space to space and gathers sensitive information of how to get past locked doors, how to gain access to things. And the first mate, Naxor Molin, he covers up the tracks. He makes sure that nobody can trace it back to the Tranquil. Now, they all reveal that the captain basically just oversaw everything and that the Orions were simply just meatheads who, were the muscle. They didn't necessarily do anything. But what you don't have is the person who actually places the armament. So that's where we are. So you know that somebody placed the armament, clearly this person in a Drake uniform that looks like a Bolian, and that somehow Captain Naboa was aware of it and in connection with this person or somebody else. In the 45 days, a surprising thing has happened, though, besides the discovering of the background of these Tranquil department heads, is that several species not known to Star Trek lore have helped Starbase 2 with components. They've shown up and they've given as many things as they can give to help patch up the Starbase because of all the medical help that they've received. So they kind of come together and help as best they can. You know, certain things are not perfect and also up to Starfleet standards. But in a lot of the sections, there's not a giant hole looking out into space. So the Admiral and others, the Chief Engineer, Neck, they'll take it. They'll take what they can get. So what you all hear is that in 16 days, the USS Varen will arrive with necessary supplies that you guys, basically what you guys initially brought, they're going to bring again. And that's Captain Dupac of the USS Varen is coming with supplies to help Starbase out too. But they won't be here for another little over 2 weeks. So there's not much to do. There's not much more to be done here on the Starbase. Because you could wait here another 16 days for Varen to show up and then help the Varen crew patch up more of the Starbase and get it back to its initial it's like when they were hoping to have like a grand opening a month ago, but well, actually more like 15 days ago. They were, you know, hoped to be in fully operating condition 15 days ago, but that didn't happen because of the detonation. So rather than have you guys just sit around for another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, the Admiral says to begin a survey of the star systems west of the Starbase. She wants to put you guys to use while in the days leading before the Varen gets here, because now there will be another Federation ship here, so she doesn't need you guys to stick around. And the USS Varen is a Vulcan class ship, so it's the one with like the long thing in the big circle that goes around the ship.
Finally, people of culture.
Yep. Okay. So does anybody want anything before we have you guys undock from Starbase 2?
I put in a requisition for a new robe. Did that come in?
Well, that'll come in. That'll come on the Varen in 16 days.
Okay.
It's a special thing. Like the quartermaster on the Drake could do it, but he doesn't have like. He's not going to have like he could put something together, and you know he could, but it's not going to be the same material and the same quality that you would want of your robe.
Yes.
And you were able to probably clean your robe, and now instead of it being vibrantly red and like beautiful, it's now just a really, really dull pink.
Have a female officer, and you just hand it to her. Here's a gift.
Yeah, that's what the Varen looks like. Yep. Okay. So you for the first time in almost in like a month and a half, you guys, after getting back from that planet where you picked up Lozesh and Arhat and Jahan, you guys undock from the Starbase 2 and try as best you can to start what you were sent out here to do. Because really, like 50 days ago, you were just meant to unload Starbase components and the engineering crew, and then go about your way of exploring and surveying and checking. Finally getting to do that.
Is the other ship going to stay there and protect the
Yes.
station? Okay.
Yep, they'll be there for quite a while. Yeah.
Okay, so we waited till they docked, unloaded, then we left them to.
What you'll end up doing is leaving about 2.5 weeks before they get there.
Oh.
That's what the admiral's hoping to do, but you guys can stay there until they dock. Doesn't really matter.
Well,
so
it's really
what
it's her orders, right?
She's asking you to, but she's comfortable with you leaving, but if you can say that you don't want to.
Nah, I want to get out of here. I'm ticked off at everybody.
Okay.
How are we allowed to just leave if we're like suspected in a bombing?
Yeah,
We're not suspected.
Will.
So
well, the datapad was a Drake datapad.
So you're free to move about because the chef there is no incriminating evidence for the chef, the one person that was a Bolian, and there is no pad found on the Drake.
Yeah, we were cleared of.
There's nothing connecting the Drake. I mean, there's nothing physical, tangible connecting the Drake to the event. Yeah, so just as much as they don't have the right to hold Naboa, they don't have the right to hold the Drake.
I was gonna say, plus they let go of main suspects, so they have no business keeping us.
Another reason why Dr. House is not a fan of the Federation.
Yep.
And I'm assuming they would,
because when stuff went,
they would have checked every single person that's on the station.
Yeah. So what you learn, Arhat, is what you learn from being a security is that there's a serial code with that pad. Now it's just a regular issue pad. It doesn't go to anybody. It's not like you can go, oh, it's so and so's. It's not like that. They're just pads that the Drake has in supply, and you go there, and you are one pad short. So when you go to like the supply room for pads,
and it tells me that I need to up my security.
Yeah.
Now things are going to right. Yeah, I was going to say now things are going to change, right? Yeah, exactly.
No. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Will kind of made all this happen before you really had a chance to. So.
Well, the way I looked at it too was like, why would you ever suspect it to happen from the inside, right? They're calling from inside the house, right? Yeah, like not
naivety.
Yeah.
It's just telling me that security needs to be increased, and I need to be harsher on my security officers.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like you're going to implement things where codes change on a daily. Beat them. Morale will diminish, or the beatings will continue until morale improves.
So that's right. You're saying that it's assumed that someone got on the starbase, gained access to the ship, stole a uniform and a data pad, got off the ship, planted the bomb, and then got off the starbase.
Mm-hmm. That's what they. That's a working theory.
Wasn't the only ship that left Naboa's?
Yes.
He had a lot of but yeah.
He didn't have any bones.
You said he doesn't like aliens last week.
He doesn't.
So maybe it's one of these changelings from the future I've been hearing so much about lately.
I mean, right? I mean, kind of House has this kind of thing in the back, itch in the back of his head. Like, is there something more happening here? Now that you have essentially a time traveler as your patient, like, is there more happening here?
Yeah. Now that's a good thing. Is like, are you gonna tell me about that?
No. So now we know that stuff. We know that stuff exists because of Archer's reports, and the Xindi themselves attacked Earth because of timeline. And so we know, like, time travel is
Oh yeah. It's not like a oh, that's weird. Why are we talking about that? Like, nobody believes it. Like, everybody in your in your era of Star Trek is very like, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have a scene with the captain whenever.
Yeah, you can have it right now.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so I ring the bell, I ring the door chime on the captain's quarters.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Come in.
Jeez.
It's
Come
Avon
in, sir.
calling.
Avon, the Avon lady. Get lost.
So I go into the captain's quarters and I say, "Oh, Captain Knightley, how are you?"
Oh, just Ducky. How are you,
Yeah.
Dr. House?
Oh, doing good, considering we've been implied for bombing a space station that I've worked on for
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah, pretty
My
happy
first day on
about
the
that.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty happy about that myself. Pretty happy
Yeah.
that
It's almost like as soon as you guys docked here, everything just went to
kind of
you know
fell
what.
apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fun times. Aren't you glad you
Pretty.
get to get off the space station
Yes.
and come with us?
Well, to be fair, this is more of the excitement I was looking for.
True. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, well, I'm learning that. So it has come to my attention when Lozesh
God.
came back from his mission.
Oh my God.
It's nothing
Yeah.
bad. It's nothing bad this
Okay.
time. He didn't try to kill anybody or eat anybody or so he
Good.
Not yet.
he regained he regained some of his memory on his away mission.
Okay.
He encountered a primate Xindi, and it
All
brought
right.
back some of his memory.
That's
So I
odd.
was able to so to try to figure out what induced the memory, I was able to use a neuro spray, and he regained a little bit more of his memory, and I plan on giving him more in the future, just in small doses to help him regain. And in my scans I took, I found that his as you know, his left eye is missing. He has a patch.
Yeah.
I could see on my scan that his skull and brain fragments have been damaged by what did you call it, Will?
Chronoton weapons. A
Game
chronoton
damage.
like
Chronoton.
energy chronoton.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his brain and skull have been damaged by a chronoton weapon.
Emitter.
So he believes he is an agent from the future, and this Xindi-Primate that he encountered was also a time agent.
Perfect.
So yeah, don't know a ton at the moment. I know that Starfleet has dealt with timelines before. I just wanted to make you aware that it could be something that is negative for our ship in the future.
Yeah,
we could have a target on our back now.
I appreciate knowing that, because I feel like now there's an additional target on our back. I wonder if this has anything to do with the bombing and what we just went through. If if somebody's after him.
I had the same thought.
How long was how long was he your patient for, specifically on Starbase 2?
He was only on Starbase 2 for about 3 weeks.
Okay. So probably long enough for somebody to find out where he was located.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So I don't know. I mean, his from what I got from the medical office or the mechanical officers, his ship had no comms, no flight path, no navigation or anything enabled. So I don't think they could have tracked him unless they're tracking something different.
Unless they sent him.
As far as my knowledge.
Okay. Well,
unless he left behind like a time travel warp trail or something. I'm not up to date with all that information.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we'll keep it between us for now. I'm not honestly that confident in the Admiral
Yeah.
Foxwell or Starfleet Command at this
No.
point. As far
No,
as
nor am I.
yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it to your attention. I did not say anything to Foxwell earlier today. It's
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't affect Starbase 2, but it could affect the Drake personally. So
Yeah. I don't mean to keep them out of this, and I obviously, we work for them, but I'm not really impressed with their security or their
well, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to explain it to me. I worked there for several years. I am very, very well aware of their flaws and
yeah.
They're in action.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
inaction is a good word for it.
I mean, they let
Yeah.
Lozesh just wander around the starbase until you took basically till you and I took custody of him, and now he's got to walk around in chains every time he's on the base. But oh well.
Good point.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
these just these little things I observe, but that's not the point.
We'll keep observing, Doctor. And we'll
Always.
keep this between us until, if it becomes necessary to share information, we will. But for now, I think we'll keep it between us and just keep a constant scan out.
Yep, and I'll keep you informed whenever Lozesh and I have sessions and he regains anything further. You'll be the first one I inform.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm actually surprised at how good he did do. I mean, I know the Admiral's
Yeah,
not too pleased with him, but I mean, he didn't kill anybody, so
true. It's pretty much all you can hope for.
it's true.
I remember I was going over some paperwork when I heard that he was going away on an away mission on his first day on board, and well, I was starting to judge you a little bit, but
Well,
nobody got eaten and killed, so I'll continue to follow your lead, I suppose.
fair enough. It probably wasn't the best decision I ever made, but it seemed to fit the bill.
Well, he did not look like a Starfleet officer. I will give you that.
It's very true. He served the purpose, and he got us out of that. He did good. So, all right, well, thank you for informing me.
You're very welcome, Captain.
All right. Dismissed.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to talk to Mr. Sova and just have him. I want him to have some sort of scanning routines. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
That's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Is there something he can do to watch out specifically for time travelers?
Well, because I do that periodic scan, which I haven't done in a while, so I probably should do it again. But
that's where we went wrong.
I could add specifically looking for chronoton particles.
Yeah. Is that something we can do?
But that would
Absolutely.
But that would only let us know if time travel has happened between the two. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you want me to scan every day. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Can the sensors automatically? Well, they do automatically detect strange particles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that wouldn't necessarily help then. We would already know, right?
Aboard the space station, they didn't have to time warp into the ship. They could have time warped on the base. But when we're out in space on missions, they could warp into our ship.
I mean, could I up the scanner to make it more sensitive to chronoton particles?
Yeah, I mean the reality is that's not you would scan for it, but it would be like a big sweeping scan, so you could make it more pinpointed.
Yeah, I'd like to have him do that. I'm not going to tell him why.
Okay.
But and I'm sure he'll have something to say about that. But but yeah, Captain. Yeah, I think that's what I'll ask of him then.
Oh, you don't trust me now?
Oh, blow the ship.
What is it, my ears?
So let's say that's
What?
yeah,
played
no.
my scene with Adri like it was the same day before we did the jump.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you, not obviously, just to keep it like congruent for our storyline. You can do whatever you guys want.
So let's say that was like during the 45 days. Because you kind of know that, like, you know where it's going, that like they're not gonna keep him. So that's where we'll say, and then this will be in that gap of the 45 days.
Okay. All right. So I walk out onto the bridge then, and is there a lot of people around him, or is it just kind of?
It would be probably him, and if our hat's at tactical, then that's probably it. And probably like an
That's
ensign in
fine.
the back.
Okay. All right. So I'll just walk up to
Definitely,
him.
yeah, tactical.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll walk up to him and I'll say, Mr. Sova, I have a I don't know how to speak. I want you to increase your scans for what's it called?
Chronoton.
Chronoton particles.
Write that down.
Yeah, I know, right? I should be taking notes. I'd like you to see if you can pinpoint our scanners to specifically like have a heightened sense. I don't know, help me out. What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Like
You
be
want
more
to pin-
sensitive to these
Yes.
chronoton particles.
Like
Please.
basically like hyper focus his scans onto like scan for everything normal, but like specifically alert him a lot more if there's like a concentration of them.
Yeah. Okay. That.
I am able to do this, Captain, but it seems quite unusual. Is there a reason you want me to heighten the scanner for chronoton particles specifically?
There is a reason, yes, and it is unusual. And I just leave it at that.
Do what you're told.
Yep. Oh, it's so awkward. I hate conflict. Okay.
It's okay.
The thing is the moment he does the scan, he'll see that Lozesh will have chronoton particles around him.
Look at that. Mike's already
Wow.
reading ahead.
That's fine.
Mike, you're spoiling it.
I think
Yeah, I know.
no, I think that's okay because I feel like he's a guy who can just feel like I can just say to him like,
You just need to do this.
Do it.
So,
Don't question.
What am I rolling?
So Caleb is gonna roll for the ship.
Okay.
Caleb's gonna roll. He's gonna roll sensor science for the Drake, and Andrew is going to roll science.
I only believe in science.
I only believe in science. Yeah, I mean, you should probably have the science officer know more about Lozesh's thing. I mean, I'm just a doctor. I don't know about time.
Yeah, well, I feel like
it's going to be insight
too,
or science insight.
Is this kind of radioactivity?
Yes.
Am I radioactive now?
A little bit. You're kind of chronotonically radioactive.
Wow.
Science and security. Well,
yeah, you're
does that mean that I'll set off sensors when I come into a room?
I mean, if they're scanning for chronotons, yes. You're rolling sensor science, Caleb.
Okay.
On the ship, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1d20.
And what is the difficulty?
Your difficulty is 2, and Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So
Two.
I forget they're not separate. So yeah, it's just 2.
Oh wow.
I got a 1 and a 4, and because I have a focus, I'm getting, bonus
4. Okay.
We needed a 10 for the ship, and I got exactly 10.
Oh, nice.
Nice
So
work.
what do we get all together, Andrew? You got 3 from your focus, an extra.
Well, I got a 1 and a 4, and I got a focus, so that's 3 for the 1 plus
Right.
2 for the 4. Because I have a science of
2 for.
I have a science for 5, so
Very good.
and then
And then
Caleb's is
and
6.
2 for the ship, right?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Well, I
1
think
for the ship.
1 from the ship. Yeah.
Oh, so for the ship, if I rolled a 3 for science,
Yes. And it had
Okay.
and it had yeah, because you have like a sensor sweep that would have given you the focus.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So we have a maxed out dice.
Yeah, you have full momentum, like over the top.
Yep.
So your scan shows the initial like heavy concentration is in the mess hall. There's a really heavy concentration, but when you scan it
In the mess hall.
Okay,
Where the heck is?
So let me ask you something. Is my guy on your ship?
Yes.
Okay. And that's
wait, are you on the ship? Is that what you're asking?
I'm on the ship. No, I'm talking about the guy I'm looking for.
No, he is not on the ship.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Particles?
Yeah, well, this is the interesting thing. So
wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Where is Lozesh?
Lozesh is in the mess hall.
Very good. I was about to rage.
So Lozesh is
Shadow
having
Legends.
his breakfast, is delicious raw meat, and
I figured.
that is where the heaviest concentration of
It's pronounced chronoton. Chronoton
yeah, thank you.
particle as well. I mean, come on.
So that's where the heheaviest thing is. But you have there's an interesting thing that you find with that ridiculous roll is you can see surrounding solely the deck that Lozesh's room is on, and Lozesh's room and Lozesh's like door and everything. There is like it's like fingerprints essentially. It's not fingerprints, but it's like chronoton things are touching. Now, the thing that what Andrew Sova can put together from that amazing roll is Lozesh is not spreading that.
Interesting.
There's not like chronoton particles on the chair that he's sitting in at mess hall or on the table. Like he's not spreading them.
So hold up.
Interesting.
So what you're saying to me? What?
Well, he's not saying anything to you. He's saying that to me.
Wow, burned. I got burned so good.
Wow.
He's wearing his pink robe now.
Yeah.
He must be.
Oh yeah, he's definitely wearing it now.
He said, so
actually, he's talking to me.
That was awesome. That was hilarious, Andy. So what you're saying to Sova is that there are like germ particles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like around on his where in the room? Like on surfaces or just in the air?
Well, it's like mostly it's on the floor and some things like where you would naturally think hands would touch.
Okay.
Panels, tables, things like that.
But he's not his fork doesn't have stuff on it.
Correct.
Yeah. So some scumbag has been in
do
there.
I know it's Lozesh that's doing it?
No, you could just see that Lozesh is like through the roof.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know Lozesh is the source in the mess hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
because you would immediately scan it and be like, "Whoa!" and then you would look at that, and then it would just be like this. You wouldn't know it's a Gorn, but it would be like this life sign, and it's like, well, there's only one person on the ship that has those biosignatures.
But he would also tell that like he's not omitting that. emitting.
Emitting.
Thank you. Emitting, thank you. That
Yes.
that substance on things in
Right.
the mess hall.
So right, exactly. He is not seeing that the
Yeah.
plate, the fork, the table, the chair, like his anything around him, like he walked into it. Like,
is it just in Lozesh's room, or is it also where we store data pads?
no, it is not on where the data pads are. It's only on the deck. It's the deck that he's on. It's all on the floor. On the floor, there's things on like on the deck flooring, and then only on the pads on the wall to like exit and enter Lozesh's room.
Huh. So some creep has been in his room.
That's
Sova
what you can put
tell-
together.
Can Sova tell like footprint size and shape from the Chronotons, or is it just
Good question.
Okay. So again,
Good
with
question.
that big massive roll, actually, you know what, Andrew? I will allow you'll spend one if you want extra information, because I gave you a lot from that
You
ridiculous
did.
six.
You
Oh.
did.
Okay.
Mhm.
So send
I'm
one of
happy
the
to
big
spend
ones.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will spend one to get.
So
What are the size of the footprints?
so what you can put, what he can put together is that it's not Lozesh's feet, right? Because he's barefoot and he has like very obvious feet print. So he could put together that it's like it's a normal kind of like humanoid kind of footprint, and it's not like a gargantuan foot. It's an average size foot.
So it's not as
One of those
Xindi-Primate.
dang. It's one of those dang dirty apes.
And
Or
I
is
will
it a-
use
That's not.
I will use my talent to get one additional question. Can I tell the stride length? Because if I can tell where the footprints are, can I tell how far apart they are? Because that would give me an estimate of the inseam of the person.
Yeah, you can put it together, and you can kind of gather that they probably walk any type of like humanoid that you have here on the ship, a human, a Vulcan, an Andorian, not a Tellarite.
Yeah, because I was going to say they're average size, right? They're not
Yeah.
like super short or super tall.
They're not super tall, super short. Yeah.
Okay.
So, just talking out loud,
Okay.
not trying to ask more questions of you.
Okay.
So, it's just curious to me that there are footprints only in Lozesh's room, not leading down the hallway.
No.
So, they must have beamed in or something or whatever.
He kind of gets a scan that it basically they appear in this area, they walk for a
Yeah.
certain amount, and then they go into Lozesh's quarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay.
So the captain is in her.
But it's very
bedroom?
finite. They're not like heavy particles. It's like wisps of particles. It's like smudgy little fingerprints like on glass. That's really, really not.
Yeah. Okay. So did he learn all that while I was standing there next to him, or did that
Yes.
take time? Okay.
Yeah. He gets like a flood of information because he's real beefy on the sensors.
He's our man. If he can't do it, nobody can.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I just see it, or does he tell me?
I would assume he would direct you to it. That's whatever Andrew wants to do.
Okay. So I would
I'm Heather.
I would whisper it because I don't
Very
want Captain.
Yeah.
Yes.
You come
Don't
over.
Don't want that pesky R hat to hear that conversation.
So I did the scan like you suggested. I noticed
you.
there was a very, very strong signal in the mess hall around Lozesh, but I find it troubling that I also found traces of it in his quarters. Now, looking into the mess hall, I noticed Lozesh isn't leaving any chronoton particles where he's touching. So it seems like someone else was in his quarters doing something. Perhaps.
So for your benefit, Andrew, you don't know that Lozesh has chronoton particles. For your benefit, that wasn't like a public ship-wide thing. You can see that he has them. You just
Right.
don't. That's like new information to you.
Yes. So I see Lozesh, but I don't see. So
Mhm.
is there some reason that he's emitting them? Because that is very important, because if he isn't leaving any, that might mean someone else was in his quarters
I think
who
we
is
have.
also emitting them.
I agree. I think there must have been an intruder. Keep this under your hat, please, Mr. Sova.
I don't wear hats, Captain.
Part of me wants to do that. Just Vulcans do not wear hats.
Starfleet protocol dictates that we do not wear any apparel upon our heads.
Section
It
358
means,
subsection 3.
please keep your mouth shut.
Actually, I think he should have come with us. He would have had a party hat.
Oh, he definitely would have had a party.
Actually, Captain, only on Vulcan Life Day does one don a hat.
Done.
Pon fire dons a hat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just go ahead.
May I suggest, though, that we go, because if someone is in his quarters, they may have left something. So it may be a good idea, maybe with
Okay.
Lozesh's permission, to go in and search the quarters to see what they were doing in there.
All right, that sounds like a job for the commander. So, yeah, good suggestion. Thank you. Thank you for your discretion in this matter. And if you could just do a routine scan of that, that would be cool.
Yeah. So Andrew, what Sova could do is pretty much kind of like an automated thing like we have in our Sentry. You could basically tell the computer that if a heavy concentration, like exclude Lozesh, and if a heavy concentration of chronoton particles shows up on the Drake, to pretty much go like ding and like make a light come on, or like a panel will come on to like, hey, look at this thing.
Yeah, or maybe like a one of those cell phone beeping. Beep, beep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically like a Ring doorbell. Like if something goes up, it's like, hey, what's right here? What's this?
Ding dong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna walk over to Commander and I'm gonna say to him, come with me. And I'm going to wall panel Lozesh and the doctor, and I'm going to say I'm going to ask them to meet us at Lozesh's quarters.
So for you, Eric, Lozesh had just gotten one nice, juicy, actually raw, not frozen piece of meat. You just got it in your mouth.
You can bring it with you. It's fine.
And you heard, "Tutu."
Oh,
Okay, so I walk out.
Yeah,
I open up the door and I growl. Yes.
Oh no, you're in the mess
And
hall.
you
You're not at your quarters.
Oh.
Yet. You're in the mess hall. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're at the mess hall and you push the thing to be like, yeah, what do you want, basically?
Yeah, and I said, what do you want? I have blood dripping down the sides of my mouth.
That's
I have a continuity thing for you, Will.
Sure.
Earlier you said that in that scan you weren't picking up any of those particles on his like plate and fork.
Yeah.
But I argue he wouldn't have even been using the
fork. True. I did. You know what? I said fork, and I said he's not using a fork. I did say
fork,
my fingernails, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but there is a plate.
Side of the meat, like there is a plate. Wow.
Yeah, he's not just eating it off the counter.
No. Well, the chef has to bring out a plate as Starfleet rule.
Civilized.
And also, Lozesh has manners. He understands.
Yeah.
If the plate goes in front of him, and then after that, it's fair game.
Yeah.
True. So, yeah, I can say, bring your plate with you. That's fine, but.
Okay, so I show up at your ready
outside
room?
outside your quarters.
My quarters.
Yeah.
Okay. I outside my quarters and I'm trying my best to eat the meat fast enough, but I can't. And I have juices running down my face when I get there. And I'm chewing.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, so the captain will look at you and just be like, yikes. Okay, so and then I will, for the sake of time, I'll just relay the information to to Arhat and the doctor and Lozesh. And again, like I'm not gonna reveal like Doctor Captain stuff, but like these are like the facts that we're working with. And I'll ask Lozesh's permission for us to search his room for intruder signs of an intruder.
And I look at you and I said, "Can I help?"
Yes, of course.
So I open the door and I go in first.
Okay.
What do I see, Will?
So basically, because you don't have a lot with you, right? You only have like pretty much what you have on you is what you would have in there. You don't really have like a change of pants or your bandolier. So it's pretty much what you see when you come and go every day. It's just quarters. It's bare, it's minimum, because anything that was nice and decorated that Starfleet would be like, put this in here. He's like, no, thank you. I don't want this in here. I don't need to know who Abraham Lincoln is, anything like that. I don't need this. So there's really nothing in his room other than just probably a messy bed. Other than that, that's probably the only thing that stands out. Unless Lozesh makes his bed. We don't know, does he? No, I didn't.
I sleep on the floor.
Oh, well, there you go. So the bed is pristine. It's never been used.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So one thing that just came to my mind is we didn't ask what time. Like, can we trace a time? No. Very good.
You can tell it's not fresh because his chronotons are like active. So using that information, you can tell that these are old, but you don't know how. Like decay can tell you that it probably hasn't happened in hours. It's probably happened in days.
Would we have had a science officer come with us just to do a quick scan in person?
Yeah, all of you could be there. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. So for keeping it like story.
Except for Jahan, he's in the bathroom.
True. Making the story, accurate. I would like call Sova and be like, "Hey, can you actually come here too?"
Okay.
All right, I'm here.
Several turbo lifts later. Okay, and we would just ask you to. What are we asking for?
I'm scanning the chronotons to see where they are.
Very good.
So I whip out my little. I'll try because it's a Starfleet because all the tricorders are the same.
Yep.
I pull out my Starfleet tricorder and I start scanning.
So it's difficulty 0 because you're just scanning. So you can either you can roll for momentum or I can just tell you.
I'll roll because we have 5, so I'll roll for momentum and see if I.
Okay, so it's science and control.
Science and control. I need a 15. I got a 1 and a 16.
Okay, so
I got 2.
So, you can tell that pretty much about a day or 2, maybe even 3, somewhere in that area, after Lozesh got back from the Tranquil, these things were there.
Okay, and that makes sense because now they know where he is.
Is there anywhere specific? Because, like, is it just around the room, or is it like on panels, or?
You can see it's on the outside panel, the inside panel. You can see that it's on his computer that he has access to for his logs.
Oh boy.
You can see that it's around where he lays, like Lozesh points to where he sleeps on the floor, and you can see that like there's no particles where he normally sleeps. It's as if somebody walked around him.
Huh.
And in his like closet and stuff, there's like stuff on handles. Basically, you get the impression that somebody opened and looked at and touched and did as much looking as they could.
But I don't see anything, like I don't read any devices or any.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Can either Sova or Arhat do like a search of the computer to see what was looked at? Or
Absolutely.
taken?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to know what these freaks are looking
I think
at
I would-
on my ship.
I would leave that up to because I think security would be more effective in searching the computer.
Yeah.
Um,
And by freaks, I don't mean anything by other than the fact that they're being sneaky, and I don't like it. I'm not insulting their race or anything of that nature.
So here's the funny thing is you could call one of the two other people if our hat doesn't feel comfortable doing it. It would be an engineering reason roll. Difficulty 2. So you can either
reason.
So if our head doesn't like it, then you can
Isaac
call
Drake
the other.
reporting for duty.
Right, exactly.
It's the first time I've been out of the boiler room, sir.
I also have John's stat stuff too, if you want him to. So it doesn't matter. I'm not.
I would prefer someone who with better engineering, because I would have to roll a 10 or better.
Okay. So let me look.
Remember,
I'm not an engineer. I'm security.
Okay. What do you?
I have an engineering focus.
Okay.
And value.
What do you know? What your number in engineering is?
Engineering is 4.
Okay.
No, he might not be a bad choice to search.
So what's Clark's, Caleb?
4.
Right.
So Jahan has a 5.
What are we specifically doing?
You're looking at his Lozesh's computer to see what that individual or person or people act. Whoever the person walking around in the chronoton, what he did on the computer, he or she.
So I have a focus in Starship Defense.
That's kind of more. That's kind of more for photon
computer
torpedoes and
okay.
shield, polarizing the hull.
So it's not like ship-wide defense as far as scanning.
No, it's more on. Well,
yeah, I'd have Lozesh or the chief if you want to play as the chief. He's got higher.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way, Eric.
He's above me.
What is your? If you did engineering plus reason, what would you get?
I got a 12. No, yeah, 12.
Okay, so Jahan would have a 14.
Okay. So we'll call Jahan in, but before I do that, I want to take the doctor aside and just really not in a obvious way, but I'm just gonna say to him I'm just gonna say, stop, you have to listen to me.
Captain.
I'm just gonna let him know that hey, I realize I literally just told you it was gonna be between us and now all these people involved, but they don't know.
Yeah.
There's no actual. I haven't told them any the heck is that word? Confidential things.
Don't yell at me, Dad. I didn't tell him.
Just saying, we're good.
You said us too, and then the whole ship's here. So
yeah, you're about to have everybody here but Ensign Clark. So
yeah. Ensign Clark hasn't left the boiler room in 6 months.
He doesn't want.
I haven't been on board the Drake very long, but even I have realized that basically Ensign Clark is just a slave in the basement.
Yeah, but that's how he likes it. So so yeah, I just wanted to say that. And so obviously
you know what? I was gonna say too, you know what, Caleb, you could do a sneaky thing if you wanted to with Ensign Clark if you wanted. With his thing. What's your engineering reason?
You're talking about
yeah.
Secrets hurt someone.
I have a 9 in reason.
9, so you'd have a 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's going to be a difficulty 3 roll, but we make one of your digits a USB port type thing.
Okay,
well, I'll lower it down to 2.
What were you looking for to other than reason?
Engineering.
Oh, okay. So 4 and 9.
Yeah, 13.
But you're gonna have a difficulty of 2, where Jahan would have a difficulty of
difficulty
3.
of 3. Correct. But he would be
Right,
rolling
okay.
a 14. So
Yeah.
So it's up to the captain. Captain, obviously, you would know that Ensign Clark has this ability with his hand.
If I'm using my hand, I also have a focus in machine operation.
So so
Okay.
that way, if you
Let's go.
get a 4 or less in your roll, then you'll get more momentum.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, Ensign Clark, join the
Okay.
fun.
Sorry, Jahan almost got paged, but no.
He's still on the toilet, so
Yeah.
I'm here. I just came all the way up from the. Okay. What's going on?
I
I
would
heard
be like, he's green.
I got my finger.
what the heck is that?
Right.
I heard someone on the upper deck was in need of my finger.
Yeah. John.
All right.
Get
Yeah,
it?
that's all right. I had to come up and get space chips from Jahan anyway. So.
Yeah.
We're out in the engineering.
Yeah.
All right. What am I looking for? 4, right?
Yeah. Engineering control 14. No, 13.
Yeah. All right. I got 2 3s.
2 3s. Wow. So that's 4
Excellent job.
successes. So that's
Excellent.
2 extra successes. Does he hit? We don't, right, Andrew? It's way too many.
We have 6 already.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're amazing.
Because
We're doing really good tonight.
Yes, you are.
Dominating every test.
You're making it very difficult for me, but I love it. So, so what? Obviously, Lozesh doesn't. He's probably not too excited that everybody's gonna flip through his things. But how do you feel about Ensign Clark? So it's Caleb's other character. Yes, Caleb is doing it, but it's not the doctor. So he's going to look at like essentially your, I don't want to say, he's going to looking at your journal. Like anything you've written on that, he's going to flip through it really quick on the computer.
Am I next to him?
Oh yeah. They're in your quarters.
So I growl. What do you think you're doing?
Just fulfilling the captain's orders, sir.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to ask his permission.
I swing around and I look at her. I said, "Do you do this to all of your comrades?"
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
If the need arises, yes, I would. But
am I a suspect?
No, of course not. We're trying to help you. We're trying to make sure nobody. Well, first of all, I want to know who's been in your room. First of all, second of all, I want to know who's been rooting around my files.
I said it's probably that ape man.
All right. Only
the
damn
dirty
dirty
Dr.
ape
House is standing in the doorway and he's saying,
Yeah.
Who's an ape? I gotta.
Well, see, our hat knows the ape man, but so you've just piqued the interest of Sova and Ensign Clark. They don't know who the ape man is.
That's okay.
Well, they're gonna think he's talking about.
There you go.
Yeah.
About
original ape man.
Yeah.
Human.
Yeah, our first monkey man.
Yeah.
I'll just say to you, I'll apologize to Lozesh for not asking his permission first. I got a little excited and ahead of myself because it has to do with our ship's files and that I don't appreciate that. And now, is this acceptable to you? With you looking and watching over, is this okay with you?
Okay.
Okay.
Very defeated. Okay.
I just like, if you think it's important,
I want to know why he was on your computer.
I allow this.
Thank you.
And
I'd like to know why he was on the computer.
Good.
If Isaac Clarke gained access to the thing, can the doctor look at it so just he has the information instead of everybody else?
Yeah, it's basically like he just bypassed things to like look at. Like he kind of just opened up things so that he can see like time. He can just look at what Lozesh was doing more on like a regular basis rather than just like opening things. He can see more information.
So, Lozesh, I'm going to look at your computer and your files just so that you're my patient, and we'll have confidentiality between the two of us. And anything that's important, I will relay to the captain, just so everybody's not going through your stuff.
Okay. I will watch.
So you thumb through. You can kind of. You're not really looking. The doctor isn't obviously trying to read his information. He doesn't. He doesn't
It just
really
says-
want. Yeah.
It just says meat.
Yeah. There's.
Who's meetable? Got it.
Are
It's
the
just pictures.
files time stamped?
Yes.
So you can tell when they were created and possibly when they were last opened.
Correct.
So
So
we would focus on the recent files. We wouldn't worry
Yes.
about the older stuff.
correct.
Nice thinking.
Yep.
So there's some fun things that his eyes can't really unsee, that basically if the ship was to crash, the order of people he would eat.
Cool.
There's also a picture of like steaks on like couches and like like
First one on my list is Sova.
Oh, yeah.
Never
Cheers.
tried Vulcan. Want to know if the green blood is a good sauce to go with anything?
So
That's funny.
House is not trying to read it, but that's kind of obvious when he sees that. It's kind of hard to not oversee it. So when he gets to the thing where he knows from what our head is telling him, like, okay, go to these time things, like from when. So there's nothing there when the bomb goes off because Lozesh wasn't in these quarters making notations. So there's
Mhm.
nothing from there. And steadily along, there are, Lozesh isn't gonna. He's not like every night, like, dear journal.
Right.
Basically,
Dear
when he's contained to the room for X reason, he writes down what he thinks.
last night I dreamed of a ham bone.
Right. But here's the interesting thing that Dr. House immediately sees is
Oh,
that
he said, but I don't mind that. It's where the ham bone comes from,
exactly. But Dr. House is able to put together that another instance of Lozesh coming from the Tranquil. It's like sporadic, a couple early journals, like maybe 2 or 3, not really, and they're nothing really deep. And then as he scans like pages to the next thing, there's a clear like entry made at this time, which was after you guys came back from the Tranquil. And it says like date entered, date created, date last edited, date last opened, date deleted.
Deleting files. Okay.
And you can see that exactly 51 hours after you guys got back from the Tranquil, this thing was deleted. In the really early morning of the Drake.
Would he see what's missing? Would he know what's missing?
So Lozesh would be able to see that is his entry about being on the Tranquil.
Okay. And like seeing the guy and having the Well, what good are they expecting him to lose his memory again?
You don't know.
Because what good would that do? It's like he has the.
Well, I don't know. I think based on his interaction on the Tranquil, like they kind of probably put together quickly that like he doesn't remember a ton.
Yeah. So I don't know if we have to roll again for this or whatever, but like there was no like ship security files or anything like downloaded or looked or anything. Okay.
No.
So they don't care about us. They just want him basically to keep.
That's what you gather. Yeah, that's what our hat can kind of put together.
They want him not to remember something.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do then is I don't know who can get me this, but I want it. I want paper and pencil brought to his quarters.
Paper and pencil?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you right write your memories you don't want to forget down on here in case there's a way that you're gonna forget again.
The problem is that they were in his room, so shredding the file is just as easy as deleting it from a computer.
But they wouldn't think to look for pen and paper and he could hide it somewhere.
True. That'd be the last thing they'd look for is paper.
Yeah.
Which the last thing they'll see is a bunch of chewed up pencils because, I'm not sure how to use them. They taste rather good.
Yeah. He could always fold the thing up in his pocket and keep it on his person. But I don't know, that's just a silly thing I thought of, but
Not a bad thought.
because Adri is thinking like maybe they have something planted in his brain that they can control his memories. And if that's because what other reason would they delete a file of his like journal entry? Like he knows what he just experienced. They don't know that he doesn't have short-term memory loss. So what's the point? What's the point of that?
Well, if they can time travel, I don't know. They could have altered something.
And another option, I don't know who would make the suggestion, is you could have like an automatic backup of all his stuff.
True.
That's an actual thing of like he makes an entry and it automatically gets copied and shoves like deep in the computer system.
I would suggest a backup and more security on the computers because people are accessing things. That means we need to up our security.
Yeah, maybe you could even have like a couple dudes
post
at the doorway, like either his doorway or just like at the hallway, something.
I would just put like password. Do you want to delete this? Yes. Insert password to delete this.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I don't like that they're messing with his stuff.
I don't like the fact that they're able to mess with the ship.
Yeah, I don't like them on our computers. And I don't like too, like, how did the sensors not trip and we not know that there was a intruder?
We did not know to scan for it.
So are you saying all
about
this
the same
out
time we
loud
were
to
with
each
the
other?
Admiral?
Is that when you were with no, it was like really early. You were all asleep. Most of you were asleep.
Was Lozesh asleep in the room?
Yeah. Yep. He would have been asleep at that time. It was very early in the morning.
Keen
it was
sense
like
to smell didn't.
No.
What was your question, Will?
Are you saying all of this out loud?
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, no.
I would be saying we need more security. We need more provisions. We need backup. I would be saying that out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of my like
because
pen
I would
paper.
Be irritated because someone would have come into the ship without our knowledge, messed with the ship, and I'm going, no, this is not right. This should not be happening. That means we need to take more precautions to make sure that this can't happen again.
I agree.
So
100%.
my question is, do any of you bring up anything to do with like time travel or anything of that nature out loud?
No.
Okay.
Well, there's a specific reason that you're asking. So I would say Lozesh, while everybody's here, I don't want to invade your privacy, but if there's anything that you'd like to tell the crew, you would have the floor.
So I look at the captain and I ask if it's okay. Tell him what
I trust these people.
I experienced.
You can. I trust these people.
I started getting my memory back, I say. And then I say, that being said, I'm not from your time. I'm from the future. And the man that I saw when I was on the cruise was from the future. And he disappeared before I could catch him. but he is dangerous and don't trust him. And I think that's who you find. That's been in my things.
Yeah, so you suspect that same person that you ran into has been in here deleting your files.
Yes.
So Lozesh is able to, by having that conversation, he knows that like the Drake is at a disadvantage. If this is an agent from the future, he knows everything essentially that the Drake is going to do because he's in the future.
And then and then I look at you and I say, I'm not sure. My memory isn't clear if he was involved with the space station.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So sadly, not to get like super brain headache, that you pretty much, if you make any decision that's public, it's easy to think that this agent, if he is a time traveler, like Lozesh is telling you, he's going to know everything.
Hmm.
And then
Well,
I tell you that,
Careful when
remember,
you're
he
courts.
could be a shapeshifter, I said. So he could pose as anybody on our ship or as anyone on the space station.
So perhaps our Bolian friend.
If you understand what I'm saying, Doctor, you have the same gut feeling I do about.
So he could be, so he could be listening to us right now.
She could be, yes.
So, okay. So, House goes back to being like, okay.
Shut your mouth, everybody.
Yeah. And he just looks at the captain. I told you not to tell.
Yeah, I want him to give that House kind of look over as like he looks like over like, yeah, you had to go tell the patient that they had lupus, you know.
Yeah, and I'll just give him the old oh well kind of look.
Yeah.
Well, you know
I
what
don't like this.
Everybody lies.
Everybody lies.
Everybody lies.
I don't like
cops.
this.
Watch out for the cops.
So I wonder, wondering if our Bolian friend is the same individual.
Well, I can give you the great benefit because of
Andrew's.
But from Lieutenant Sova's big scan, he didn't pick up any particles from the chef.
True. Oh no, I don't mean our Bolian friend. I mean our fake Bolian friend who
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So you're saying that the scan didn't show anything in the chef area.
In the kitchen, yeah, nothing.
So he's innocent, like I knew.
He's innocent in the fact that there's not a time travel. You don't know actually know.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's true.
But we did talk about the fact that last time the time syncs up where in the time that the bomb was being planted, he was doing his duties in the kitchen. So we know it's not our chef.
It ain't my dude. The other thing I was thinking was if like there should be trace particles of this stuff on like somewhere else in the ship, like where the uniform was taken from, where the data pad was taken from. But then I thought, well, maybe just too much time has passed by the point now that we're doing this, and it's just dissipated.
Yeah.
Andrew, if you want to spend a momentum, I will answer that question.
No, I'm gonna. You got 6, so
yeah. Okay.
So Andrew is able. Go ahead, Caleb.
That makes sense that like Naboa would be working with this guy too, because he's not actually like an alien species. since he's like xenophobic.
What's the answer, William?
Right. Isn't that what you said, Will? He's like xenophobic.
He is xenophobic, yeah.
He's a creep.
Right.
So
this guy is not an actual alien.
I'm a weirdo.
Through that scan, he can understand that the decay rate could the rate that these particles decay, if there was chronoton particles present during the bombing of Starbase 2, there should be some present.
Okay, so the answer is no then. Like,
correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that rules out stuff.
So far.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose.
Okay, so let me wrap it up. I had two more things to do, and then we'll conclude the episode.
All right.
So the thing I wanted to do. Go ahead, Gil.
Firstly, Isaac Clarke leaves the room after he opened the computer, and he walks by the captain, and he just says, "Man, nobody tells me anything."
Okay, so we're gonna have Ensign Clarke spit take. We're gonna have him. He's gonna roll engineering fitness.
Oh God.
Man, two tasks in one episode.
Difficulty 1, engineering fitness. And what this is going to determine is how comfortable Lozesh's con station is on the bridge.
Oh, cute.
You better roll amazing.
So in these 45 days, Ensign Clarke was basically commissioned to build a con station that could support him sitting at it.
And John just stood there and ate chips and watched me.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Well, considering his staple abilities, we want Clarke doing it.
What do I have to roll?
No, nothing. He's gonna roll to see when you sit down at that thing, if it feels good or if it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay. I got one success.
Okay. That's all you needed.
Nice.
So, Lozesh, when you go up to the bridge to sit at the con to plan navigation for the Drake, for once, it actually is comfortable to you. So however it is to you, that's what it is. If it's no padding like a Klingon, then that's how it is.
Right.
And I'd be comfortable to anyone else, but it's comfortable to you.
Exactly.
Right.
It's just like
so I could fake like want to throw it, take it off its and I'm like, nah, I think this is good.
Isaac welded that thing in place. He saw the chair when he got up there. He saw the chair, and he said, "Oh."
Can I do this thing where I take Lozesh to the bridge and I show him his new chair and I tell him this is your gift for letting us go through your quarters and your computer. Here's your gift.
So he has like big old comfy buttons and stuff. Like all of his buttons is right for his fingers.
Yep, my nails.
Yeah, right.
Boink 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 boink.
Cute.
So they're reinforced so you can't poke through them easily.
Right.
That's right.
Good work, Clarke.
They're just steel buttons.
What's the Wakanda's metal?
Vibranium.
Vibranium. That's what they're made with.
Oh my god, I love it.
What kind of a?
All right.
Okay.
Well, what's your second thing? So
our second thing is, I was going to get into episode 3, but I'll end with the cliffhanger for episode 3.
Beautiful.
So you detach from Starbase 2. You've had all these scenes
from
detox. Well, both, and you begin your new journey into the unknown west of the Starbase. You begin, and if Mr. Sova remembers, the captain of the Silk said not to go west. So before we end, what were you gonna say?
Why are we going west? If we were told
'Cause
not to,
that's-
because Foxwell
Because
told us.
that's where the admiral wants you
The admiral sent us there to punish us for our mission, I think.
to go.
Well, for my attitude, probably too.
But also that's unexplored space, really. So,
True.
but you all know that direction it's far away. It's not like a million miles away. That direction is the Talarian Republic.
Okay.
So, your first thing bleeps up on Lieutenant Sova's screen. So you're going to roll Adri for the ship, sensors and science, and Andrew is going to roll science and reason difficulty 1.
Science and reason.
Yep.
I need a 14. Ooh, I got a 20. Did not succeed.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter what Adri rolls because I failed miserably.
I did get 1 success.
It doesn't. If I fail, it doesn't. The ship doesn't help.
Wow. Okay.
A
We have
20.
like 6 momentum though.
Wait. I have technical expertise, which says if I'm being assisted by the computer, I can re-roll. I can make 1 re-roll.
Is that by? I got to make sure that you can do it with the sensors. I just got to make sure. You probably can. I just got to make sure.
Because I think it just has to be a science or
Sensors. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to re-roll the 20.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Good job.
I got a 16, which still isn't enough. So I still failed.
Wow. Looks like our luck ran out at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Ooh, at least
Well,
it's not 20.
This is what. Yeah. So this is what I'll tell you is he can see that it's an M-class planet.
M for Mambo.
Mambo. He,
Yep.
she, me, Mambo.
Mumbo. It's basic 3rd grade.
And
Okay.
that is where we will end episode 2.
Are we going to do a new scene when we're coming back, or
It'll be a new mission.
so? Because I will have to remove right.
So we don't know what
No, it's all new, Andrew. New episode.
So it'll be back to 0.
Oh, so we're back to 0.
So
Yeah.
we don't know who blew up the. But we have a new mission now.
Oh, but we have to. Should we do the?
Will it all tie everything together? This mission?
That's
You
up to
suck.
Will.
You suck, Will.
That's what I told him the other day. I was like, it would make it more fun if I had
Somehow he
answers.
blended like your time travel story into a story he already writ. So I don't know what he's got planned.
Well, and the thing too that we
Crazy.
talked about is that he thought we would get through episodes much faster. So we're really in this script.
You're in the
central.
mud now. I wrote 13 episodes and we're on 3.
Well, we like to go slow and talk and really talk
That's
out
totally fine.
every
No.
decision.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I made them really.
Now, why
long,
would
so-
I want to push that button? Well, let's talk about why the button.
Yeah.
If we're ending the mission, we have to do
Yep.
the milestones.
Yeah. Yep.
Did Adri use her determination point?
I don't think so. I don't
So
think she used anything.
Because it says, basically, did she use a determination point, challenge a value, or get injured? Then she wouldn't get a
No.
milestone. So,
No.
because I got a milestone, and who else did use the value?
I
I
used
think
a couple.
Didn't
Sick
Eric
House.
use?
I think House did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
House
I
did,
did.
and I think Eric did, right?
I used the value,
Think
Yep, and I
so.
did.
So
Yeah.
the 3 of us get a milestone. Are you doing a spotlight milestone as well?
This is 2.
Because it says every 2 to 3 missions. So are you doing it this mission or next mission? Those
Next
spotlight.
mission. Next
Okay.
mission.
So it's just a normal milestone.
Yeah.
So for House and Lozesh, you can choose.
Hold on.
You have to wait.
You can choose 2 disciplines and then take a point off of one and put it on the other.
Yep.
You can choose a focus and replace it. You can cross out a focus and replace it with a new focus.
Okay.
Or you can do one of those 2 options for a supporting character.
Okay.
Or you can save the milestone. So if you want to do it later.
So, explain to me again. So you can add 2 to a discipline.
It's what it is you pick 2 disciplines and you can take a point off of one and put
Swap.
it on.
So swap the numbers. Okay.
Or move one
Yep.
point to
So
the
basically, like your medical is at whatever, and your security is at another. You can reduce security and give him more medical, or reduce medical and give him more security, or whatever,
Right.
whatever.
You can
And
also
what's the max? Is it like 5 the max on those?
5 is the max.
So 5 is the max, even if you level up.
Correct.
Okay.
So how many do we get?
You could choose one of them, one of those.
Okay.
You can remove one discipline point to a different discipline, or you can get rid of a focus and put in a new one. This isn't really leveling up, it's adjusting your character.
All right, I'm gonna level up my security from 3 to 4.
Well, you'd have to move it from somewhere else.
Oh. Okay, I'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do it. You can
you don't
save
have
the
to do
milestone
it.
and do it later.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's just if you want. If you notice, like, oh man, we're doing a lot of this, you can like move your numbers around.
Mhm.
It's basically to help you. You know how like Caleb, you were like, oh man, I don't, or Mike a couple times had said like, oh, I don't have a focus in that. We've been doing a lot of this type of scanning or this type of interaction with people. Like you could cross off a focus that you had, and then you're like, you know what? No, we've been using a lot of whatever, and
Yeah.
write in a different focus.
So you can change swap your discipline or do a focus. You can't do both.
No,
Correct.
Choose one or the other.
Well, I feel like for the doctor, I really should do like a focus specifically like that involves like Lozesh's medical stuff.
Okay. So you would just
Something-
cross off a focus and then write down something having to do with the medical.
So you
get
could
rid of
either
a
put
focus.
like neurology, or you could put like temporal mechanics or something like that, like temporal, like temporal bio.
Yeah, I could add like temporal, scanning and knowledge basically too.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
because
can
now
get
that
rid of like
After the explosion, I think I used one of my values. Prioritize and execute.
Yeah, I think when you were evacuating people, right? Yeah, next time I remember.
Yeah, I don't think I used anything for Isaac yet. No, I didn't use a value, but I used a focus.
Well, you're right, because it says the character used at least one value. So if Michael used a value, he also gets a milestone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used anything.
No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I'm debating on just changing out one of my focuses.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can, don't have to do it right this minute. You guys can all think about it. We don't gotta, you're not under the pressure.
Yep.
It's just a nice way to adjust things, because like I had engineering, it was like power distribution or something for, and I'm like, we have 2 engineers. I'm never
right.
It's like, why am I having this engineering focus?
Oh.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'm going to save mine because I don't need it right now. So I'm saving my milestone for later.
It would just make it easier for me to focus on, change it up, because everything I have is dealing with other people. It'd be nice to have something that's more passive that I could fall back on.
Yeah, maybe look into a focus with like security cameras or like security protocols like within computers. Things
Yeah.
that your guy would be a lot more
Until
aggressively.
next chapter will it's just all combat. Will
All combat. It's only people. You never deal with the cameras again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, right now, that's what my focus.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just put this down. Yeah. Yeah.
You can definitely be fine.
Klingons are boarding.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from now will be episode 3, and episode 3 is entitled "The Cleaving."
Mm.
Bye.
I don't
See you
need the
guys.
hours and super.
Good night, Eric.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
See ya.
Oh.
Bye.
So,
Girl Scout.
Drake
Everyone have a good
friends.
night.
Goodbye,
You too.
everyone.
Have a good week,
everybody.
one. Bye.